Our guests tonight represent the most dominant program on campus when it comes to national championships. Football has one, golf has one. The BYU Cheer and Stunt Squad just won a national title. Cross country has 8, and the BYU Cougarettes have 26. Our pleasure to welcome 2 key Cougarettes, Makeila Lawrence, a 3rd year from Orem, Utah, and Abby Gray, a 4th year from Draper, Utah. Welcome to our show.
Thank you.
Happy to be here.
Yeah,
what do you
excited.
think of our place?
Oh my gosh, I low-key saw it from the window. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so nice. It's so cool.
Yeah, we didn't really know what we were getting ourselves into, but
This is
really cool.
This
we
is
love
it.
it already, yeah.
Well, it's awesome to have you here. We want to put these accumulations into some perspective. The history of college football: Alabama has 18 national titles, Michigan has 12, Notre Dame has 11. Those are the 3 most of all the teams.
The greatest college football programs in history.
And you have 26.
Yeah.
So what do you attribute this long-term success to?
Oh my goodness. There's so many things. I feel like it's like our coaches, like starting from Jody from years ago and then going into Stacy and Morgan the past few years, like those are definitely a big part. And then it's the girls, the talent just starts growing more and more every single year. It's like even this year, I'm like, holy cow, the freshmen this year are just like ridiculous. And so even every single year, it just keeps getting more and more intense, but still more and more great with talent and minds and brains and everything just like building up.
What's your take?
I feel like there's definitely a legacy with the Cougarettes that has carried on since it started as a program. I feel like a lot of our teammates actually have like moms that were on the team, and I feel like because of the Cougarette culture, we've always wanted to be successful, not only in our dance career and what we're accomplishing, you know, on the surface, what people see, but also we have things that we want to be better at in every aspect of life, not just dance. And I feel like that definitely takes into our success with like winning national titles and stuff. So yeah.
When you guys go and compete in nationals, which you didn't this last year, we're going to talk about that in just a minute. But you do have one advantage over Alabama in these schools because you can win more than one in a year. Mm-hmm. And so let's break it down for folks. You have 8 national championships in the open jazz division, 10 in hip hop, and 8 more in team performance. So there's 3 different disciplines, but usually you only participate in 2 on any given year, right?
Yeah.
How many times since you guys have been here, and you didn't get to compete this last year, did you double up and win both categories that you're entered in a year? Does that happen often for the Cougs?
Yeah. I mean, for the past 3 years, so the 3 years we won hip hop and jazz in a row. And then before that, it's like 5 hip hops and then 3 jazzes in a row. Mm-hmm. So it's like overlaps a little bit, but I don't know how many like in total we've won both years, but that's at least 6. At least 6 times in your recent memory that you've doubled up and not only win in one genre, but go and dominate another. And hip hop and jazz are 2 very different things, right? I mean, like it's crazy.
Yes, it is.
But yet it's the same girls that are out there on the floor. How in the world can you be dominant in 2 things that are that different? It's almost like being a distance runner and a sprinter, and you go out and you just win both.
Do both, yeah. I feel like one thing that the coaches really take into account when they're bringing in new girls on the team is versatility and the ability to be able to do both. I feel like obviously everyone has their strengths, but seeing the potential that each girl has on the team to be able to get to where they need to in both, you know, styles is something that they really think about and take into account when they're bringing new girls on the team.
Well, and you also have a couple of gold medals, right?
Yes.
In both jazz and hip hop from the ICU Worlds in 21. But this year, you guys decided to let everyone else have a chance. Is that what happened this year?
Yeah. What happened?
We had this amazing opportunity from BYU to do a cruise, and it was like once in a lifetime, the coolest thing I think I will probably ever do in my whole life. Yeah. And it obviously overlapped with the nationals, and so it's like, what can you do? No other college program probably will ever or has ever done this, and I think that's just such a amazing opportunity that you can't pass up.
And on the cruise, I was there. We were all together. You got to perform the pieces that you would have done at nationals and literally do a whole concert, almost like Cougarettes in concert that you do every year for the whole cruise ship, basically in 2 performances in the big theater. What was that like to dance on stage like that?
It was so fun.
So cool.
Yeah, so we basically shortened our concert from February and brought it onto the cruise. So it was only like an hour instead of like an hour and a half-ish. But it was so fun. It was definitely different. You could feel the boat tipping a little bit.
How do you do How do you do turns?
Oh my goodness.
Like
core
strength. Just like tightening your abs like crazy.
Lots of planks before, yeah.
So when we're talking about explain to people that aren't familiar, what is a turn? What I'm saying, when you're doing turns on a boat, like what's a turn?
You're standing on one foot, your arms are here, and you're just spinning around in a circle on one foot, and you just like don't put the other foot down,
keep going,
and you just keep going.
And to do that all together, synchronized with everyone on flat ground that's not moving is hard enough to do, right?
Definitely.
Let alone when you're on a cruise ship and that thing's going. Did you feel it while you were up there performing?
Yeah, it did feel a little bit weird. It felt like a lot of just like pressure, and like sometimes I would like feel myself just like wobbling a little bit, but we made it work. It happened. Yeah, so
That's awesome. That just sounds like Saturday morning in the kitchen with kids, right?
Just
Spinning
chaotic.
around, ready to
Just
go.
going everywhere.
By the time that we see you do your performance at a timeout at LaVelle Edwards Stadium or at the Marriott Center, how much prep time has gone into this 90-second routine?
So we start practices towards the end of July or beginning of August. And throughout that time, so we actually just had our auditions at the end of April. And then we are encouraged and basically required to train on our own throughout the summer to make sure that we are keeping up our skills, right? Like summer is not the time to chill for us. I mean, technically there's no time to chill ever for us. Yeah. But yeah, definitely summertime is where we do like training on our own. And then when we get together back in July, August, we call them work weeks, which is basically 9 to 4 every day, 6 days a week. And we prep our like nationals routines or like routines that we're kind of like recycling from the last year going into this next year. Yeah. We recycle those, put in the new girls. We also prep our timeouts and stuff. So just a lot of like, and like sidelines, but just a lot of like prep going into it. But yeah, for a solid 2 or 3 weeks, we have 9 to 4, 6 days a week. So
you have fall camp just like football has fall camp then.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you're all day just like football's all. But they only do one practice a day now. The NCAA has said, listen, you can only go out on the field and practice one time. You can do a workout in the afternoon, like go lift, or you can have team meetings, but you can only go out and actually go full go one time a day. You guys only go one time all day long, am I right?
Yeah. Technically, we have an hour for lunch.
There's
in
like
between.
an hour break.
So you have double sessions with 1 hour break.
Like 2 a days, like 9 to 12, and then 12 to 1 you get to like eat or go take a nap or get some swig, and then 1 to 4 you're back at it going ham.
That's awesome.
Man, that's crazy.
BYU Cougarettes, Makeila Lawrence and Abby Gray on the Wise Guys, presented by Brady Plus, distributed by the Deseret News. Gil is on the stream from the Philippines. Raleigh, North Carolina is in with us tonight as folks check in from all over the world. Now, when Cosmo checks in, because he is often a performer with your group, when does he do his stuff? And how do you get so synchronized? Is he there the whole time, or how does that work?
Yeah, he comes in when we do practices in the summer during those like 9 to 4 camps. Obviously, Cosmo doesn't have to be there for 9 to 4 and practice turns with us. But when we do our timeouts and things like that, we'll tell him when to come in, and he'll get to come in and practice and learn the cleans. And he's treated kind of like us, where he has to know all the cleans and he has to know everything.
Yeah, there's definitely an expectation. Yeah.
So,
but he kills it every time.
He's so good.
And what we had the person in athletics that
Dave Eberhard.
Yeah, you know Dave Eberhard. You guys know Dave because he's works with you guys too. But I was thinking you wouldn't know who he was. You know exactly who he is. But he's responsible for Cosmo, and he went through all the different things that Cosmo can do. Do you guys ever stand back and go, "This is just nuts. How can this person do this?"
Yeah, it's crazy, especially like dancing with him in practices. It's like we train all our lives for this, and then you're just so naturally talented to be able to do this. It's crazy. It's amazing.
With the thing over his head.
I know.
Yeah.
With,
With the like this, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
he's somehow just dancing just as good as all of us, and it's like he can only see that much. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, Makeila Gill says a special shout out to you from the Philippines.
Oh, that's my family. My family's from the Philippines.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, there you go. A special shout out from the Philippines from the fam down there.
See, it's Monday nights, family home evening.
Family
That's
home
what I got
evening.
going on
Actually, in the
here.
Philippines is probably tomorrow morning.
Yeah, it's Tuesday morning in the
Yeah.
Philippines right
We have
now.
all of our folks that tune in from Japan and the Pacific Rim. They always tell us, it's 9, I'm out for a walk. It's 10 in the morning. We're watching at
my
work.
goodness.
That's so
And they
cool.
watch from all over the world. So
Wow.
take us through, because I marvel at the dedication it takes to have the kind of success that you guys have had and to perform the way you do, to compete in nationals the way you do. But you're also students. And so you've got this responsibility to do well academically. You've got to practice. Then you got to go out and represent BYU on cruises and in classrooms and things all over the place. What's a typical week like for you during the school year? Do you ever have a time to just chill?
Yes, sometimes. It definitely depends on the week. On average, we have about 1 performance a week, but we practice every day, 6 days a week for 3 hours, and it switches off between afternoon practices and morning practices. So typically on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we practice from like 3 to 6 p.m., and then Tuesdays and Thursdays, we practice 6 to 9 a.m. So that honestly has helped a lot with flexibility in our schedules with school, and a lot of us teach dance for our job and also to, let us have a social life a little bit. So that's typically what happens, but then we sometimes have to switch our schedule because we have choreographers coming in, so we have to have longer days. But yeah, it honestly just depends on the week.
So if Shandon, the great hip-hop choreographer, comes in, then all of a sudden you're spending full-on days with her?
12
there?
hours
Yeah.
usually. Like
Yeah.
10 to 12 hours. You're just on your feet. You're working hard. You're dancing. And so, yeah, when she comes in, or even regular choreographers for our concert or for our jazz nationals, you're there for up to 3 hours, up to 12 hours. It kind of just
It depends.
on who the choreographer is.
Yeah.
And you just said something, and I know Dave and I want to talk to you about this. Be posted for our jobs. We teach dance. I know you're both choreographers that go all over and choreograph things for dance companies around the state and around the West. You having to do that during the season?
Yeah.
Yeah, usually most of us teach at studios during the week. So like personally for me, I teach on Tuesday nights at a studio. I know Makeila teaches on Monday nights. But yeah, and then like usually throughout the summer, that's when we like travel to choreograph for different high schools and stuff. But usually throughout the school year, it's just at one location.
So scholarships and NIL, do they come your way?
A little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little
Good.
bit.
Yeah.
Yes, they should.
Yeah.
But just a little bit. You still have
Yeah,
jobs.
we still
Yes.
have to work
Yeah.
because there are still things that need to be done.
Well,
Yes.
I'm
Sure.
adding up in my head. Like I'm trying to add it up in my head, you guys, and I'm going, okay, so they're choreographing and they're getting a little bit of money for that. They may have some NIL money or a scholarship check, but then they're also have 3 hours of practice every day. But if a choreographer's in town, it might be 12 hours a day. And then you are going to class. These are 60 and 70 hour weeks, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, living the dream.
Living
Yeah.
the dream.
Yeah.
Where's the fun part?
Honestly, in practice.
In practice
is fun.
is
Like
a blast.
it's so fun creating relationships and friendships with our teammates and our coaches and our choreographers. Like over the past 3 years that I've been on the team, I've definitely made the deepest and most meaningful relationships with my teammates because of what we do in practice. It's so bonding, and those relationships carry on throughout. Like even if it's just a let's grab a drink after practice or let's go to the temple after practice, like little things like that with your teammates really help with the unity of it, which helps with the enjoyment of it as well.
How does the success of football and basketball with these enormous crowds motivate the Cougarettes to push the needle and just keep getting better?
I mean, when there's like thousands and thousands of audience crowd in the Lavelle Edwards Stadium,
Yeah.
and you're like, "Okay, we've got a timeout," and every single person is going to be watching you because you're on the big screen, you're on TV, you're everywhere. I mean, that's a pretty big pressure that you have to be like, "Okay, we've got to dial in, and we have to look good because there's no other choice because there's so many people."
But it's awesome, isn't it? It's like
Yeah.
a rock star.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
so fun. Our coaches always remind us that everyone can see you. Like, even if you're in the back row, back corner,
Sure.
there's someone that can see you because there's so many people that are watching us and we're surrounded by so many people. So I feel like that's something that's cool too. And also, we don't, honestly, like, we do it for the crowd's enjoyment, but also we do it for ourselves. And we also just want to push ourselves and do our best to make us feel good about our job and what we're doing.
And when you're doing all of this, you're representing BYU,
Yeah.
right? And so that hangs over you, or you've got to do this. When the coach says everybody's watching, even at nationals, everybody's watching, right? To see what you're like. And you guys have both been, how many nationals? You've been to a couple each, right?
I've been to one.
I've been to two.
So you've been to two. I've been to two.
Okay.
And I've never seen anything more pressure packed in my life.
Yeah.
And I played in
It's
front
a
of
lot.
80,000 people in a national championship game
Yeah,
before.
it is a
and I
lot.
never felt the pressure that I felt there watching.
Yeah.
It's different. In football, if there's 11 guys out on the field and the left tackle makes a mistake, if the other 10 guys kind of do it, you might be able to make up for the mistake. Every single person on that floor or on that stage is being watched by the judges. And if how many in your hip hop routine? How many people?
The cap is 20.
So you've got 20 in hip hop routine. If 19 people do it perfectly, but the 20th makes a mistake, falls out of a turn, does something, there's no way for you to win.
Right.
Yeah.
There's little room for error.
So
in that.
all 20 have to be perfect.
Yeah, there's no wiggle room for a fall over on a turn or a mess up on a trick or a false cleaning that you messed up. There's no room for that when it comes to nationals.
That's tremendous pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
That's more pressure than being in front of 65,000 at the stadium, right?
Yeah.
Right. Because in a way, they're going to forget it after, right?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, we're going to remember our mistakes, but it's just like, oh, the Cougarettes just danced. Like, that was so fun. A nice timeout routine. Like, just some entertainment.
Cosmo was in there.
Right. Totally.
Yeah.
But with nationals and competition, it's definitely different because we're always wanting to bring something new. And I feel like everyone is always just watching what any team is bringing to nationals to be different and to be innovative and to bring something fresh to the dance world. And so, yeah, there's a lot of eyes on us.
How do you get ready for that though? When you know, like, how do you block out, I can't make a mistake and just perform at your peak because it is the elite?
I feel like a lot of trust goes into it, trust in yourself and also in your teammates. Leading up to nationals, we have about 6 weeks, and those are the most like packed weeks of our entire year. We practice. After practice, we usually like send in videos, making sure we're hitting our turns, hitting our tricks. We're always studying videos from practice. There's a lot that goes into it. And I feel like at some point, we usually reach the point right before the week of nationals where we're feeling pretty good and we peak right at nationals, like meaning we, do our absolute best. And I feel like a lot of that just comes from the amount of practicing that we do and trusting in ourselves, but also knowing that every single girl on the floor is going to kill it because she's also done the work.
Well, the next performance is August 30th.
Yes.
At Lavelle Edwards Stadium. Are you already working on the routine?
Not yet.
No?
Not yet.
No?
We'll
Work
get
week
there
in
in August.
Yeah.
All right. One thing I've noticed, especially in the hip hop, and this might sound like a stupid question, but and there's no stupid question on this show, although sometimes
No,
we do
there's
ask.
no stupid
Sometimes we ask them, but
No.
everybody's always nice to us. So.
Why is everyone so angry during the hip hop?
Yeah, that's such a great question. That is a great
There's
question.
no
Great
smile.
question.
You
It's
got to
just
act like a tough guy.
Right.
yeah.
Right.
What is it about that?
I feel like when I listen to hip hop music, that's like kind of just the vibe you get or the vibe that I feel. Unless it's like a girly hip hop or something, that's when I can smile. But if I'm listening to like a hip hop song in the car with my parents or something and I'm like, like this is getting me here, not like here. And so it's like, it's giving me a stank face and like a,
So you can dance with an edge when you're hip hop.
Yes.
Is that what it is?
Yes,
Okay.
I think
performance
so.
is a big thing for
Oh,
us.
it's huge.
Like we need to use our face. Like even if you're the most talented, like physically capable person, if you don't have that connection with your face and your performance.
So we should know, as we watch that, we should know that all of you are happy to be out there doing
Oh,
it.
absolutely.
So you're not miserable. You're not mad. You're really not
we're
mad.
not
at us.
angry.
No,
So-
not mad.
I have one more question. Whether it's performing out in the stadium or going to a school and doing something or nationals where you're really, really in the spotlight, the standards of BYU are out there and everybody has expectations. What's that like to know that you're representing the university and what they stand for?
It's honestly an honor. I remember the first time when I got like my first Cougarette backpack and like my first like gear and stuff with the Y on it. I was like so excited to represent BYU as a university, but also like be a representative of Jesus Christ. That's something that we really emphasize on our team is, you know, yes, we're Cougarettes in practice, but we're also Cougarettes everywhere that we go. And we really try to share that light not only in our dancing when we're performing, but also as we're hanging out with our friends, talking, meeting new people in class. Like we really try to represent what being a Cougarette is outside of practice and inside of practice, but definitely outside of practice because it's not just your talent level.
Yeah.
It's not just you as a dancer. It's the kind of person that you are that's important for us.
Makeila?
Yeah, you'd be surprised at how many people just like look at you and they're like, oh, you're a Cougarette. Like you don't even have to have the BYU gear on or your backpack that says your name on it. Like people will just say like, oh, you're a Cougarette. And it's so cool to realize that because they can see the light of Christ that we share on the team. And it really just shows so much. When you're talking to someone, like on the cruise, I met so many people and I only had my uniform on like the majority of like 5 times. But I was on that cruise for 8 days and there were so many people that would stop and be like, oh my gosh, like you're a Cougarette, and like would talk for minutes and hours, and it was so amazing to just be like, oh, I represent such an amazing university and such an amazing gospel, and it's so cool that I get to do that.
Awesome. That's awesome.
It's definitely special.
BYU Cougarettes Abby Gray and Makeila Lawrence on the Wise Guys. We're live on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch and wiseguys.com, and our podcast will be out tomorrow wherever you get your podcasts. It's time for 5 questions. This is where we're really going to get to know you.
Very important.
Right, here we
Very
go.
important.
5 questions is presented by Strategy Square. Give your online business a boost with Chantal, a BYU alum at strategysquare.co. All right, Blaine, you ready to lead us?
Yeah, and remind me, I just added a 6th question to your 5.
All
Everybody
right,
does
6
5, but I
questions.
just added a 6th
A
one.
bonus one
That's
right out of
I had
the
a
gate.
bonus
a
question.
bonus.
So just know you're going to get
great.
6.
All right.
So, and we'll do Makeila first, and then Abby, and then we'll do Abby, and then Makeila.
Okay,
Love it.
Like on the next question. So question 1, your favorite sports movie?
Oh, I love Remember the Titans.
Titans.
Nice.
Remember
Classic.
the Titans is just such a classic.
But Abby immediately laughed when I said this. Why did you just laugh?
My mind went blank.
So
I
just
can't think of any. Oh my God.
Abby.
Come on, there's got to be a
got it.
sports
I'm
movie. Like,
thinking-
what about Bring It On?
Sure.
Oh,
No,
that's a
come
good
on.
one.
I don't
you
know.
can't say Bring It On. No.
I'm
Do
like
you know
a
what-
rom-com fan.
Step Up could
I
be.
don't watch sports movies. I watch rom-coms. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Wait a minute,
There's
Abby.
no
What about
Hoosiers, no
Rudy?
nothing.
What about Rudy?
I haven't seen that.
Rudy. Have you seen
Have you
Hoosiers?
seen Remember the Titans?
Like once, a long time ago. I don't even remember it. I'm so sorry.
Wow. Okay, what's your favorite rom-com, Abby?
There's so many. To All the Boys I've Loved Before.
Oh, that's
It's just
a
like
All the
good
Boys
classic.
I've Loved
It's just
Before.
like,
That's a good one.
yeah.
I don't know that one.
It
We're
makes me
putting-
want to fall in love.
We're putting an
Okay.
asterisk next to this.
Yeah.
Wait, it makes you want to fall in love.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
nothing right now.
All right.
No, I'm single.
Okay. Oh, Abby's single.
Abby's
Michaela?
single. I'm engaged.
Yeah, I know
Yep.
that. I did know that. So I know Michaela's grandma and grandpa. So
Okay.
Okay. Now we'll go. Now you'll go. You first, Abby.
Okay.
No blanks on this one
Okay.
because I know you have one for this.
Okay.
Your favorite singer or band?
Ooh, okay. Lately, I mean, I'm always a Chris Brown fan. So, love Chris Brown. We actually did our nationals routine to a Chris Brown song my freshman year, and it was like my favorite ever. It was like awesome. I was living for it.
Okay.
So
Very good.
All right,
Chris
Chris
Brown.
Brown.
Okay, Makeila.
I love Lana Del Rey. She's
Lana
my
Del Rey.
everything.
Wow.
Okay. All right.
We Dave and I changed. He's an AC/DC guy.
okay,
And
fun.
Keith Urban. I go
And
for
Keith,
Keith
and Keith
Urban.
Urban. He has a really good friend that writes for Keith Urban, so
Oh,
he's
wow.
a great hookup. We went to Keith Urban and got really
That's
great
so
seats. And,
fun. Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
That's amazing.
So, and we're kind of country too. Because
Yeah,
of our-
it's
Love
a
country.
big palette.
well, Brad Paisley's dad's a good friend of the show, and
Wow.
and so
So many connections.
Wow.
yeah, so we're kind of country guys too, which I
Yeah.
never was before. And now I'm kind of like a Post Malone country fan. I don't even know what's going on with me.
Oh my goodness. I
Hey,
love the
yeah.
Post Malone country vibes right now.
What is going on with Post
Summertime
Malone
is
being
the
a
time of
country
the
guy?
It's amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
It's
I'm a
good.
New York
He's
hip hop
good.
guy, and he's got me loving country. I don't know what's going
Switching
on.
over. It's
Okay,
great.
okay. Now we're going. No, it's not. It's you first. So, your favorite snack food?
Ooh, I love mini Reese's Pieces. They're like the tiny little bags, and you feel like you could eat a billion of them.
Because you
But-
can.
Because you can.
Yes.
But
Yes.
then you're like, oh my goodness, I just ate this whole bag of tiny Reese's in 5 minutes.
But honestly, when you're dancing and working 70 hours a week, can you pretty much eat anything you want?
Kind of. You still have to be like aware because you don't want to like just eat a bunch of candy and
Right.
soda all the
Definitely
time.
gotta fuel your body
Gotta
in
fuel
the
your
right
body
way.
the right way.
So eat the right stuff, but
Yes.
you guys burn a lot of calories a week.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
this. Okay,
Yeah.
what's your favorite snack food, Abby?
I love True Fru. Specifically the frozen raspberries
Fru.
with dark chocolate. Those ones
Okay.
are fire.
Raspberry
True
fruit.
Is that
Yes.
is it sort of healthy?
I would count it as
Yeah.
healthy. I mean, it's
So it's
fruit.
kinda
It's
healthy.
fruit. I mean,
Okay.
and dark chocolate, like,
Okay.
Yeah,
kind of healthy, I guess.
All right.
I'm thinking antioxidants with dark chocolate. And
Can't go wrong.
Okay.
Can't go
True
wrong.
Fru.
Yeah.
Very healthy. Okay. Now it's your turn.
Okay.
Favorite venue to perform: Marriott Center or Lavelle Edwards Stadium? Pick one of those two. And then if there's one outside of that that's been your favorite place you've ever performed, you can choose that as well. But
Okay. I would
Marriott
say,
or LES, and then favorite all time.
Okay, I would say Lavelle.
Okay.
Like, I just remember my first time out. It was such a surreal feeling, like running out there and seeing all these people. And also the view is gorgeous.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, it's just perfect. One side, there's the mountains and the temple. The other side, there's a gorgeous sunset. Like, you can't go wrong with Lavelle. And it's just massive and iconic. Like, I remember growing up watching the videos of the Cougarettes performing on the football field, and I was like, I want to be there one day, you know. And it's crazy that I am
There you are.
you know. So
Awesome.
yeah.
So Lavelle, but
Okay.
what, is there another place that you performed just like, oh man, this was cool?
Yeah. Actually, after my freshman year, we did an international tour in Europe, and we took some classes in Italy, and we got to perform on this like outdoor stage at the end of the week. After like all the classes we took, we learned some routines and brought some of our routines from our concert. And yeah, it was so cool.
In what city? Was it in Rome?
It
or
was in Bari.
Oh, in
yeah.
Bari.
Yeah. So we got to perform in this outdoor stage with just like a bunch of like random, you know, pedestrians walking by, stopping by to watch a show. It was really cool. So
Awesome.
that was definitely
Very cool.
very special.
Okay, Marriott or Lavelle Edwards?
I've got to say the Marriott. I love when we go and there's just the Cougar Club sitting right in front of you. And sometimes
fun.
you're like literally this
their
close,
face,
like,
yes.
in their face.
Yeah.
And it's just so cool. Like, obviously, the Lavelle Edwards Stadium is unbeatable. Like, dancing there, dancing on the football field, and like the crowd, there's like 64,000 people.
So many.
But then it's like the Marriott Center, and it's like you're literally this
Yeah.
far away from
The
someone,
fans
and
are
I'm
on
like
top of you.
making an angry face at them. And we're just this far away.
And you're closer to the music.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
it's true.
a
Yeah, it's
venue
like
where it's-
right there.
Did the Cougs travel to the Alamo Bowl?
No, we
just
didn't.
the cheer squad did. That's right.
Yep.
You guys had finals and something else that week or something. I know.
Probably.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we usually just travel for nationals.
just for
so,
nationals.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay. Number 5. And
Right.
what about? Did you have another venue that was just really unique and cool to you?
Honestly, just the cruise. That's so
Very unique.
ridiculously unbeatable that I will never probably ever get to do again. And that was just hands down one of the coolest things I've ever done.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Now it's Makeila first. Your favorite BYU moment?
Ooh. Honestly, like at BYU or just anything
It
involving
can be
BYU?
anything involving BYU, or maybe it's something that happened when you're on. But it can be anything associated with BYU. Just your favorite moment associated with BYU.
When I was on the cruise, I met Gifford Nielsen.
Ah.
Oh my goodness. It was like the most surreal moment I think I've ever had.
He sat right in that chair not
Did
that
he
long
really?
ago. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I feel so special. But he is just like the most genuinely kind human being and was just so amazing. There were some things that happened on the cruise to my family, and it was just such like a stressful moment, and he made me feel and made my family just feel so calm and peaceful. And I was like, wow, like Heavenly Father is so real after this, because he was just hands down just so amazing.
Yeah, he's the best.
Yeah, he's awesome.
The best.
Yeah.
Yep, and he was also an unbelievable quarterback before you were born.
Yeah.
So amazing.
Long before you.
Yeah. Okay, Abby, what about you?
One thing
Favorite
for
moment?
me, it was actually this year when we were playing Utah.
Yeah.
I was at this watch party up in Heber City at one of my friend's parents' house, and we were driving back, and we were on, I don't remember what street it is, but it's like the street by some apartment complexes that are pretty well known. And we were driving, and it's like a literal parade. People are like outside their windows cheering. People are lining the street. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. So I actually live by those apartment complexes. So we drive through this parade. We're like partying out the windows. We park at my house, and then we run back, and there's this massive crowd of people, and everyone that's like driving through that street, it's just like the biggest like celebration I have ever seen in my entire life. And like at one point, it was actually pretty funny. The police came, and all of us were like, oh shoot, like we gotta go. But then like the police started partying with us. Yeah, like it was like incredible. Like I had never experienced anything like that before. And obviously like beating Utah was like such a win, right? But then having that like random after party that was just everyone in the street celebrating, like it was so fun. It was so fun.
When we left,
we were part of
when we left our BYU TV studios that night after the post-game show, which then it was probably
this is an hour after the game.
midnight or one, but we could hear it.
Yeah.
From
like,
whatever it was going on.
What
we
is
could
going
hear
on?
it.
I think there were actually like
You
several
guys, I drove
going
from
on.
from the broadcasting building next to the Marriott Center down the hill. And I got to that intersection where University, like the Canyon Road, crosses over that goes up to the diagonal.
Right,
There was a street party in the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they were all over the street. I couldn't believe it. And then I
Yeah.
look over there, and Brian Logan's out there dancing with
Yeah,
us.
that's right.
Velo parked his
He
car
did go
and
dancing.
he was part of the street party. I just waved, but
Yeah.
it was very cool.
That was a
What
cool
a
one.
great
Yeah.
night.
All right.
Okay, so here's my sixth bonus question.
All right.
You guys missed Nationals last year for a cool opportunity to go on the cruise. But next year, you're back at Nationals.
Yeah.
And by my count, you're going for a six-peat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is a six-peat in the cards for the Cougarettes at Nationals this upcoming spring?
That is the goal.
That's the hopes.
Yes.
That's the goals.
Yes.
That's what we're working
We're
towards
definitely
this
going to
year.
put our heads down and work towards that, because that's always the hope. But honestly, for us, it's just about doing our best. But
Well, you have 26 national titles, so 28 sounds great.
right.
28's a good number.
Add a couple more.
Would not be mad about that.
We're so happy to have you here and to let Cougar Nation get to know you a little bit differently than other places. Abby and Makeila, have a wonderful summer, and we'll
Thank
see
you.
We'll see you at the stadium
We'll
in
see you
a
at the
Yes.
few
stadium.
weeks. It'll
And,
feel
hey,
like a few weeks.
For those, Michaela's engaged, but you heard Abby very proudly announce she's single right now. So, and any handsome young men that have high character,
Right.
Yes.
high character,
My
because
expectations are high.
They have to come on this show and be interviewed by
Yep.
us.
Okay.
and Abby, you
I
can
gotta
tell
get
them.
your guys' approval.
You
for
can
that.
tell them that, hey, if you're gonna if this is gonna get serious, you're gonna have to go on the show with Dave and Blaine, and they're gonna do a lot more than 5 questions.
background
I can
check.
tell you.
like
Yep.
20 questions.
20 questions
Yes.
or more.
Yes.
Or more.
Hey,
Yep.
congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
so
Thanks
much.
for having us.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
being
so
on
much
with
for
us, you
having
guys.
us. This was amazing.
You bet.
Thanks.
We'll have you back. After you win next year, we
Yep.
want the two of you right back here.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We'll be here.
Awesome. That's Abby and Makeila, two of the Cougarettes who've won more national titles on this campus than anyone on campus. And that includes the landscaping folks who sent these shirts over to us,
Yeah.
who just won their 10th.
They won 10.
Wow.
But 10 is awesome. 26 is a little bit better. I can do the math.
There's good, better, and best. This is best.
So they're doing
Best
that
in
too. A lot
class.
of good things going on.
Yeah.
So thanks, ladies.
Thank you.
And
you.
You guys
good
just
to
have-
go.
the cool thing about this show is just cash. There's commercial free, so you get to like come in and come
it's
out.
fun.
Love
Yeah.
it.
So,
All right.
Okay, see you guys. Michaela,
Thanks,
see you at the
you
gym.
guys. I'll see you at the gym.
That's right.